What is up, everyone? Welcome to a super massively crazy exciting unboxing. Now, just to let you guys know, this room is a tip. I haven't finished the G3 stuff yet, as you guys know. I've got the big finale video to come, so I'm sort of mid-prep for that, but also I've got a lot of mess about the place that I need to tidy. I wasn't expecting to buy one of these this early. I was hoping to get my hands on one around mid-2017 to make some videos, but I couldn't pass on this deal. This is one of the eBay searches that I have searched on and off for pretty much, give or take, a decade. When I first got into Macs and first got my MacBook, the G5 Quad, even though the Mac Pro had just come out, the G5 Quad was like, wow, that is a gloriously powerful machine that I would love to own one day. That is a monster. And then when I bought my G5 Dual 2.5 gigahertz, which as you guys know was my main machine for quite some time, well, quite some time for back then I was swapping machines all the time, but it was my main machine for a bit. And after that, I was going to buy a quad, but then I managed to save up quite a bit more money and I bought a Mac Pro. So I never got my hands on a quad. I never got the chance to own one. And that was my plan all along. I was going to go from the Dual 2.5 gigahertz, then I was going to get a quad. I was going to max it out as best I could back then, and that was going to be my big editing monster machine for back then. But then of course I bought that AVC HD camcorder, so I was looking for an Intel machine, blah blah blah. All of that is history, but now I finally have a quad in my possession. Now, why did I buy it this early? If I wanted to get it in mid-2017, why have I got it now? And yes, guys, there's going to be quite a lot of talking in this video, so be warned, if you're not a regular viewer, then you're probably not used to my rambling. Why did I get it now? Well, as I said, I've searched this machine on and off on eBay for quite some time, and I've been searching it heavily over the last year or so. And this is the best deal that I have ever come across. Well, a pretty good deal that I've come across, and I just snapped it up because everything sounded brilliant about it. Now, for £80, I got the G5 Quad, which is a good deal in itself. £80 for a mint G5 Quad is a nice price to pay. You're getting the world's fastest PowerPC Mac, the fastest PowerPC Mac that was ever released, for £80, and it's mint. But this one was £80, and it came with a cinema display. Now, this is package 1 of 2. The cinema display is to follow. So, yeah, that's pretty incredible. Now, I can't find my knife. So, we're just going to rip it open and hope for the best. Oh, man, I wish I could find my knife. Let's get some scissors. Now, I'm a little bit nervous about the condition of this because it feels a little bit loose on the inside of this box. I'm hoping that it's going to be okay. It's really hit and miss with G5s, it really is. Transporting Mac Pros and G5s with those handles, you know, they're sturdy machines, but if you give one of those handles or feet one good knock, then they are out of action. You know, they can sustain quite heavy damage, but so far, we're looking good so far, folks, and that is the top of the machine. I'm very pleased about that. I get nervous when I get the machine upside down, I don't know why. And also, oh man, I'm out of breath already. Also, when I got my Dual 2.5 gigahertz G5, it came to me lying down in the original box, so I was really nervous about the liquid cooling system. I just was so paranoid about that back in the day, but of course, this is, being a quad, this is the last revision of PowerMac G5s, so they were much less prone to leakages anyway, which is good. I was always very nervous with my old G5. That's another reason why I hastily got rid of it. I just was completely paranoid that it was going to leak. So quite a bit of bubble wrap, not too bad. One thing that I don't like is I can feel that the machine is sitting on its feet. Now, when I package these machines, I've got a really good method of doing it. I packaged my Mac Pro and I packaged that single 1.8 gigahertz G5 to go to Will. And what I tend to do is this is the most firm part of the machine, and the handles, as I said, if they get one good knock, they can easily get damaged. So I build up soft polystyrene that builds up from the top and the bottom of the machine here, and make sure that the handles don't touch any part of the box. Now the weight of this machine is on the feet, it's not sort of floating, so that's something that I found to be quite successful, even though that G5 I sent to Will was damaged in the first place. But you know, the Mac Pro survived quite a bit of a journey. Well, nearly survived. Oh man, look at this. Look at this. Some handy packaging for me later. All a bonus. Oh yes. Now we are talking, folks. Now we are talking. Okay, so we do have some cabling in here. We have got the power cable for the G5. They use this weird sort of horizontal IEC connector. Very, very thick cable. But it's just got a standard 13 amp plug on the end of it. I'm not sure if they call these like 15 amp IEC cables. I don't know if you can put a 15 amp plug on these and they're rated for 15 amps. What does it say? No, it doesn't actually say. It says everything, but that's okay. Next up we have got, this is interesting, the power supply for the cinema display. So even if the cinema display gets lost in the post, which I'm kind of confused as to why the cinema display isn't coming today. So yeah, oh no, that's not feeling good. Oh, hang on a second. You've gotta be absolutely kidding me. What the frig? What? And I don't know why I said frig, I'm so sorry guys. There is a cinema display sitting there. I booked 2 parcels, no wonder there's only one. Oh my word. They packaged it together. That is an incredibly bold move. I would have never ever undertaken that task. But if it's all survived, I'm not going to doubt it. That's all I care about. So no package to follow. No wonder it was even heavier than I thought it should be for a G5. Oh my word. They are packaged together. I'm sorry I look so rough, everyone. That is mental. I've only just noticed that. I was feeling around and I was like, something doesn't feel right with this box. Whoa. Okay, let's stick you guys on the tripod. There we go. Okay, that's a bit of a decent view for you guys. Oh man, if I don't sound ultimately excited at the moment, guys, I am very excited, but this is the nervous stage. This is the stage where you receive a giant box with an incredibly heavy computer and a display all wrapped up together with kind of like mediocre packaging, and you just hope that everything has survived. But one good thing is the side of the G5 is protecting the screen itself, so that's something. Let's just try and get all of this stuff out. So what have we got? I don't really know how the best way to unpackage this is, really. Oh no. Is that just my paranoia? Guys. Oh Christ. That is not feeling good. I think the front foot or the back foot, whatever this has had one big knock. Oh, this is exactly what I was talking about. Okay, that's okay. I'm not gonna think about it until I can get in. Where's my scissors? Okay, could be my paranoia, It's not feeling 100% right down there. Let's lift the machine out and have a look. Oh, for No, not another one. Oh my god. Oh, I hate it. I absolutely hate it when these vintage Macs get shipped around and they die a death. I hate that. Oh, just not good enough, guys. Not good enough at all. Right, let me show you the damage. Let me show you the fucking damage. Look at this. Look at that. Oh, shit. Let's take her out and have a close inspection. Look at that, guys. Oh, Christ. I don't know what to say. That is so unfortunate. And at this stage, when this happens, it was the exact same with the Flower Power iMac G3. When this happens, I don't care about myself and my money. That's not what bothers me. Come on, camera. What the hell is happening now? That's not what bothers me in the slightest at this moment. What bothers me... What bothers me is the fact that this is one more Mac that is now gone. These things aren't going to be forever. You know, how many are already in landfill? This is one more that is fucked. And that really, really gets to me. At this point, I don't give a toss about my money. I really do not care. You know, obviously I will care eventually, and that's when I get to sorting things. But look, this poor, gorgeous G5 has been battered, and you can tell that it was mint. It was mint in the pictures. It has been absolutely trashed, and this case is nowhere near salvageable at all. Oh man, okay, let's take a look inside. Oh, look at her. Look at this G5 gorgeousness. Probably, guys, this machine will still work just fine. It may need a bit of a reseat here and there because it's obviously had a big knock, but it'll probably work just fine. Because as you can see, the damage so far is purely cosmetic, but this is exactly what happens, folks. This is the most common type of G5 damage that you see. The handles, so in this case, the feet just burst away from the case, and that is how it is. And this is my fault, pretty much, guys. This is my fault, and I'll tell you why this is my fault. Because this seller had a pickup-only auction, or buy it now listing. I said, look, man, I like, this is a nice deal for me. I want one of these machines. The cinema display will be really nice. Can you package it up for me and send it? And he said, yeah, do you know what, man? No worries. So he packaged it up for me. He's an incredibly nice seller, at least I think it's a he. And yeah, it's my own fault, because if somebody on eBay does not offer post and package from the beginning, you know that they are not that sort of well experienced with it. So for me personally, no matter what I am selling, I've never sold anything where I haven't offered a courier option, and that's because I am confident with using couriers. When I was younger, my dad used to do all of my parcel wrapping for me, because my mum and dad have a business that is based quite heavily around eBay. That's one of the big aspects of their business, so they send a lot of stuff out. But over the last year or 2 or 3 or however long it's been, I've wrapped all of my own stuff because I've learned brilliant packaging techniques from him, and they get very, very, very few breakages. So when I receive a box like this that is wrapped like this, it's a recipe for disaster, and sometimes you get lucky. I mean, I've got really lucky in the past. I've had machines survive in terrible, terrible wrapping. It is luck of the draw, and sometimes, folks, sometimes it doesn't matter how you wrap them, they will get royally fucked up. So this has seriously, seriously wound me up this morning. I am gutted because it's midweek, and this is one of my mornings off work, and I was going to play with this machine, and I was very excited, and now it is, again, not worrying about me in the slightest. It is another Mac to add to the graveyard, and I think that is awful, really awful. I wouldn't, I'd still feel really bad if it was like a basic dual 2.7 gigahertz, but this is a quad G5. This is a glorious machine. But as I say, the machine will probably still work, so we'll still go ahead as usual. We'll boot it up and whatnot. But look at that case, guys. Just look at it. It is absolutely flabbergasted. Oh my god, look at that. Look at that. The whole thing. It's It's even started to come away there. It's been one hell of a knock. Now, the saving grace about this is, if we're talking purely financially for me, even if I get no money back for the damage to this machine, if the cinema display is working fine, that's quite an expensive 20-inch cinema display. Well, it's an average cinema display deal with a power supply. £80 if it's in good condition is sort of a normal price you want to pay. I didn't particularly want one per se, but it would, you know, I wouldn't say no, so that's okay. And also, this G5 has a SCSI card in it, which can be quite rare, and some other type of card. So those boards alone may be worth the price. Especially if I can find out whatever this board is. I'm not 100% sure, but looking at it now, it's a bit flexed. I wouldn't really like to say whether they're working or not. I've got no idea, to be honest. I'm a little bit just all over the place at the moment. Now, if anybody cares, my previous G5, not my dual 2.5 gigahertz, my single 1.8 gigahertz cheapo version of the G5 with the shorter motherboard that I was using in the studio, that machine had very similar damage to this, but it had been sort of panel beaten back and riveted in, but it meant that putting the door back on was a complete nightmare. Let's see if it's the same case with this. Yeah, very similar sort of resistance here, putting the door back on this G5. It's going to be a bit of a struggle. Oh man, I've taken 5 minutes to do some breathing and calming, and yes, it is that bad. This situation is that bad. I needed to do something. So I've taken 5 minutes. I do apologise for my swearing and general behaviour on camera, folks, but sometimes YouTube has got to be a direct reflection of real life, and this has severely annoyed me. So there we have it. There's my new G5, looking pretty much 150,000,000% sorry for itself. Look, it's managed to hold itself to. What the hell is wrong with my camera today? It's managed to hold itself together in the middle here, but it's just burst out on both ends. I don't know, it's just like I don't know what it is. It's had one good freaking huge bang and it's just burst. It must have made a hell of a noise when it burst apart inside the box. You know, oh Christ. Anyway, let's take a little look at this cinema display. Let's just lift it out. At this point, I think we've gone beyond tripods. Let's have a look. Take a little look and see what's happening with this. Ah, Christ. So just looking at it with my eyes, the display looks absolutely fine. No damage that I can see. I've dug out a keyboard and a mouse, and I've given everything a good push inside the machine. Everything was seated in just fine, at least it felt like it, but I've given the GPU a good shunt. All the RAM, hard drive connectors, little battery on the board, everything. I've given it a good shove. And yeah, let's plug it in and see what it does. So let's plug in the monitor and let's plug in the Power Mac. I got a pretty good feeling about what's going to happen. I think it's just going to fire right up. If you want my prediction, I think it's just going to fire right up and be absolutely fine. But it's all going to be case damage because these machines are brutally tank. So let's have a look. There's the bong. We're at sort of like what I would describe a moderate volume right now. I've never owned a quad, don't know how loud they're meant to be. We've got nothing on the display yet. Now we have. And we've got an Apple logo. Here we are, she works. Incredibly quick boot up. I just went to change my camera battery and it was already booted up. Hard drive is loud. Fans have ramped down a fair bit now. But yeah, here we have it. A nice example of one of these eBay sellers that doesn't erase the hard drive and give you a fresh install, which is totally fine by me actually. It gives us something to look at. When you get a fresh install, there's not a lot really happening on the system, so I don't mind, and I never keep the same drives anyway, so look at this, guys. 4 times 2.5 gigahertz PowerPC G5. Holy crap, hang on a sec. What the hell? 4.5 gigabytes of RAM. This was advertised with 512 meg. I love it when that happens. Why the heck was it advertised at 512 meg if it's got 4.5 gigs? There was even a screenshot of about this Mac. I thought there was a lot of memory in there, considering. It just had these two 256 meg sticks in it when it was advertised, but it's had 4 1 gigabyte sticks added. That's weird, isn't it? Anyway, we've got the GeForce 6600, just the regular 6600, not the LE. So that means we've got 256 megs of VRAM, and it's generally a bit of a beefier card compared to the LE, which is the light edition of the 6600. But all of the cards that came with these machines can push some pixels when it comes down to it. You know, we're talking really, really late in PowerPC here. This machine feels, feels fluid as hell. And just as I say that, system preferences takes quite a long time to come up. But anyway, it's running Tiger as well, which really, really helps it out. I mean, Tiger on the G5 just flies. Let's have a look what else we've got to take a look at. We've got no Bluetooth, that's cool. ATA, the optical drive. Pioneer DVR, oh, that's a nice drive. A 110, really nice. I've got a 108 in the G3, I think it is it? Or is it? I can't remember. That must have come with an earlier G5, so nice Pioneer drive. Probably won't need to touch that in all honesty. PCI cards, here we go. So that SCSI card is actually a really nice card. It's an Atto Express PCI UL5D. Comes up twice, SCSI 2, SCSI 2. I guess that's because there's 2 ports on it. I'm not 100% sure. Let's have a look. Yeah, all the info is the same between them. So that's in the top PCI slot. And that would have been an expensive card back in its day. Really expensive. So probably quite rare as well, PCIe SCSI card. I know the PCI ones and PCIX ones are much more common for the older machines, so this would be fantastic for like an LTO backup tape drive. I guess LTO 3 from this time period, I'm not too sure. Then we've got BCOM 5714. Not 100% sure about these because it says it's on the PCI bus, but then when you look at slot, it's gigabit Ethernet and they're both network. So there's 2 gigabit Ethernet ports on this machine. Not sure if this is referring to that weird card that has like sort of BNC looking connectors on it. I really doubt it is. It's probably just referring to the fact that the network connectors on the machine are part of the PCIe bus, which is more likely, I guess. GeForce 6600 is shown here, obviously in slot 1. Slot 3, there you go. See, slot 3 is shown as empty, which is the slot that that other card is in. So that other card isn't displaying as anything. We'll have to yank it out and see what it is. Other than that, we've got ATA. I've shown you this, the Pioneer DVR 110. And also, where else did I go? Serial ATA. It's a Western Digital 250 gig drive. Not sure if it's the original Apple one, but there we have that. Airport card. There's no airport card or Bluetooth. It's a combi card in this machine. So let's quit out of that and take a little look at the applications folder and see what we've got of interest. So we've got Acquisition. That's a familiar looking icon. Download client? Like a torrent client or something? I don't know, that looks familiar. Anyway, we've got the Adobe CS3 suite on here, folks. So got an Adobe folder there marked in red. Oh wow, okay, fair enough. We've got CS2 and CS3. That's pretty interesting. It's quite hard to lift software off the machine, which is a shame when you get nice applications like this, because, for instance, I don't own CS2, but it's quite hard to lift them off without the DMG. So I wouldn't mind getting CS2 on my G3, actually, for a bit of experiment. Oh, wait, I installed CS3 on there. Yeah, no, never mind. They'd be nice to have anyway. Oh, holy crap, we've got CS4 as well. So it looks like we've got Adobe CS2, CS3, and CS4, with some other, like, After Effects 7.0 and stuff like that. What else have we got? Let's go down. It looks like we've got Final Cut on here. Let's go down. Final Cut Express HD and Final Cut Pro, which looks to be no longer active, or maybe the icon just isn't working. We will soon find out. This application quit unexpectedly. Close. But Final Cut Express HD probably launches. I own a legit copy of this. Actually got it back in the day. I've got my own license for it, which is one of One of very few Apple applications that I actually own. Just do anything for now, so you launch. Do you know, the 1680 by 1050 resolution is actually surprising. It's very, very surprising. You can fit quite a lot on these monitors. When I used my Dell 2009Ws as my main monitors, it was surprising. Final Cut in its standard form, though, is a little bit lacking on this resolution. There we go. Yeah, here's Final Cut Express. That brings back some memories. No, don't want to save. Brings back memories of waiting for things to render, actually. What else have we got? So, it looks like the stuff that came with Final Cut Pro is still on here and probably still works. DVD Studio Pro, for instance. Compressor and Cinema Tools, they would have come with Express and Pro. Cinema 4D application, 64 meg. iMovie HD. So yeah, we've got, let's have a look. Mac OS X install DVD, 3.53 gigs. We've got some DMGs in here. What's this one? Mac OS X server install DMG. Let's have a look at which versions these are. So this is Mac OS X Tiger server. I can tell from the icons. And this is, I'm assuming, Tiger as well. There we go, Mac OS X Tiger. Both DMGs I already have, but nice and handy. Macromedia. Flash MX 2004. Quite a lot of applications on here. I thought that said Omni Giraffe for a second. Omnigraph. Oh man, Rapid Weaver, dude. That was a pretty cool application back in the day. Haven't seen that app icon in a while. Pretty cool little app to make websites and things. Oh, and here we go. Serial Box 2008 version 12. So created 2008. Looks like all of this software was cracked up and whatnot in 2008, which is fine. Soundtrack Pro and Soundtrack. Guess Soundtrack came with Final Cut Express and Pro came with Final Cut Pro. Toast 6 Titanium. Yeah, pretty old version there, folks. And there's just constant surprises. Windows Media Player. I haven't seen Windows Media Player for Mac in an incredibly long time. Let's launch it and take a look. There it is in all of its glory, folks. Howdy, how the heck are you? So there's Media Player. As you guys can see, this could have easily belonged to someone like me back in the day. A little bit of a hobbyist with the old pro apps everywhere, and cracking them with a serial box. Tube TV, that was a pretty good app back in the day. Really doubt this works anymore, to be perfectly honest, with modern YouTube. A little bit like MacTubes. Oh, it needs Perion. Yeah, this machine doesn't have Perion installed, fair enough. You can still get Perion pretty easily, but I doubt that works. TeamViewer 6 for the Mac. So it looks like this guy, whoever owned this, was a fairly nerdy kind of person. Skype and the DMG. A little bit of a disorganized kind of apps folder here, but QuickBooks, QuickTime Player, Pro Animator. A few of these things I haven't heard of. Let's have a look. Most of these apps that I'm trying are launching and somewhat working, but are growling away. It needs registration. Okay, no problem. We'll forget that. This machine kind of looks as if it's had some kind of archiving install or something. MPEG Streamclip, man. Wow. MPEG Streamclip is an application that I have not used in a long time. For quite a short amount of time, I used to run my YouTube videos through MPEG Streamclip. But I was a Visual Hub person, and then I pretty rapidly moved on to Handbrake when Visual Hub broke in Mountain Lion. Used Visual Hub for many, many years. Motion, obviously with Final Cut. Microsoft Office X or 10. Is that older or newer than 2004? Possibly newer, not 100% sure. Where's Word then? Oh, there it is, staring at me in the face. This actually could be older. Let's have a look. Where's the date? Yeah, this is older. It's 2001. This is pre-Word 2004, pre-Office 2004. So That's interesting. I've also got the old Microsoft Messenger on here. I think this is... Little Snitch. Check that out. That's a handy little app, but I had problems with that on my Mac Pro 2008. Font Explorer, iWork, probably an ancient version. Yeah, totally ancient, and no numbers in there. 2004 created. My word. iPhoto, iMovie HD, iDVD. This looks to be quite an old version of iLife. Let's have a look if there's anything in the old iTunes music. Always like it when there's random music. Looks like there's 11 tracks. Let's launch up the ancient version of iTunes and see if the internal speaker survived the bump. It did. It did indeed. Oh, not too ancient. This is iTunes 7? That's my guess. About iTunes. iTunes 9. Not too bad. So, one album on this machine. Pretty underwhelming. Also, not even correct in terms of naming. Yeah, it's not really a sound we hear anymore these days. It's so odd to hear a hard drive echoing in the room. And this is pretty much one of the most demanding things that you can ask a drive to do on OS X by the looks of it, is calculate the size of one massive folder. Previous system 1. Aha. Yeah, this machine's had some kind of archiving installed, definitely. Yeah, look, we've got a clean Tiger apps folder here. So this hard drive could definitely do with an erase. Definitely. It's just crazy to me how people must know what they've used their machine for previously, and then they sell the machine without even, they don't remove the hard drive, they don't erase the hard drive, nothing. This may be some kind of weird archiving install or something. I can't quite can't quite figure out what is happening on the hard drive. It seems to have like 3 separate installs kind of bodged together. But I've just dragged off of the screen here 3 sets of complete bank details. The whole lot, account numbers, sort codes, security codes, company VAT registration numbers, all sorts, that is on this hard drive. And it's just, I'm lucky this machine has come to me, really. I am not the type of person to, look any deeper into that sort of thing. It is shocking and very interesting when you get a computer that hasn't had a hard drive erased. But I'm just looking around the drive because I'm looking for, interesting music or application installers, DMGs, which I've found a couple. Those Tiger installs, I've got them already, but makes no difference. Looking for maybe cool drivers or something. I'm enjoying looking at the old software. Maybe there'll be a couple of old films or something on here that are terrible quality, been downloaded from somewhere or whatever. But, I'm just looking around for cool things like that to mention in a video, and I find this. And after this video is done, this hard drive will be erased. But it's just, this could have gone to the wrong person, some damage could have been done. It's scary. This is like the 3rd time this has happened now with computers that I've bought, and every time I get flabbergasted that people don't erase their hard drives. And if you don't know how to erase your drive, just take it out. Just Google, even if you don't know what a hard drive is, just Google, Power Mac G5 hard drive, find a picture of it, pull it out, wild. Well guys, after a little browse around, I'd say the applications that I showed you was the most interesting part of the drive. Well, the most interesting part of the drive was the amount of personal and company data on there. Absolutely incredible. Contracts, receipts, the lot. But yeah, we'll gloss over that and just sort of, focus on the Mac related stuff. One thing that stuck out to me, there was a lot of Real Player folders and sort of leftover scattered files from Real Player, and I always forget how big of a deal Real Player was back in the day. It sort of died a death quite a long time ago, I suppose. There are also far more applications on this machine that are in this applications folder, because for some strange reason, when you go to open a file, let's say you go to open, let's look for a file. Yeah, here we go, guys. Have you ever seen an open with menu quite that long? Open with, check this out. Look at all of these applications that say that they will be able to open an image. That is bonkers. And obviously all these different versions of Photoshop, but as well all of these exe files, which is really quite bizarre. I don't have a clue what's going on with this system, if I'm totally honest. So yeah, this system is a nice spec. I thought it was 512 megs of RAM, like I said. That's what was on the listing. But no, it's 4.5 gigs, which is a really nice amount of RAM to get started on one of these. They'll take all the way up to 16 gig, as we all know, but you know, 4.5 gigs of RAM back in 2005, not too bad at all. Now, we've got a working cinema display, and we have a SCSI card and potentially some other quite valuable PCI card. And we've got, what else have we got? We don't have very much else. I guess we've got the G5 works, so I can sell this system to somebody that wants one of these, that does not care about the look of the machine. But the only problem with that is those types of customers are getting less and less. Maybe 5 years ago, a semi-professional or like a prosumer on a massive budget or wanted an extra home system or something, maybe would have bought one of these to crunch some numbers with some design work or some video work, and wouldn't have cared what the case looks like as long as the machine was working absolutely fine. But as I say, those type of people are getting less and less. If I'm going to create a video series about this machine, similar to what I did with my G3, I want the case to look as nice as possible. I don't want to put this on camera, and it pains me to say that because this machine has done everything I've asked it to so far. But I don't want it. It would seriously pain me to put this on camera, folks. It looks so ill. Poor machine. I just can't get over it. I can't quite believe I haven't fully realised yet how battered this machine looks. And by the way, this is one of those old JVC Kaboom boxes from the 90s. Just taking a look at it because it's a bit faulty, but yeah, that's what this massive lump is. But yeah, I'm getting distracted now. This is... Oh, I'll tell you one thing, folks. Let's eject. Let's do one more thing before we leave. Let's eject. Oh, brilliant. So the super drive doesn't want to open. Ah, there we go. Just needed some persuasion. It's had a couple of years without opening by the looks of it. Let's put a CD in it, see if it works. I burnt a CD of trance the other day to test out this Kaboom box, which I've stubbed my toe on twice, by the way. Now I've got a broken G5 to stub my toe on. Let's put this in and see if any of our trance music plays in iTunes. Be awesome if this drive works. I really do like a Pioneer drive. It's going to work, definitely, because it's a Pioneer. These drives are so robust that came with these older machines. The DVR 107, 108, wonderful drives. This is a 110. I've never owned one of these. There you go. Check it out. Let's play it straight from the CD. Some of my trancing. Wonderful. I thought I had the American Pie strip song on here. Turns out I don't. I thought some 90s classic trance would have been ideal to test out that boombox, but now we're testing the G5 internal speaker with it. This isn't a 90s track, this is Say Say Say, Waiting For You. Good tune, I like this. Quite a loud internal speaker, but definitely sounds like shite compared to the G4 and G3 internal speakers. And yeah, come on, copyright gods, come at me. Just make this day even worse and strike my video for playing terribly low quality couple of seconds of a track. Well, this isn't a good sign, guys. I'm on my third battery, so naturally I think I've been talking too long. And let's just move that into the frame. I'm now creating myself a thumbnail. Check this out. Look at this magic. You may recognise this from the thumbnail. There we go, box in the background. Let's make it really authentic. Let's step back a bit. Time to create the thumbnail. My hand is in the way. Thumbnail creation time. Yeah, whatever. One of those will be okay. Alright guys, I am winding myself up now. The presence of myself within myself is actually annoying me. So I'm going to leave this video here, and I'm so sorry this is on such a negative note. But let's leave it on some positivity. The cinema display survived, so I'm now the proud owner of two 20-inch cinema displays. So when it comes to making my G5 series, I will have some wonderful displays to use with the G5. I'm a very big fan of the 20-inch form factor. 1680 by 1050 is a nice resolution that I'm comfortable working with. It's a lovely middle ground. It's my second favourite resolution of all time for serious computer work, believe it or not. I am a massive fan of the 16 by 10 aspect ratio, and the only resolution that beats this out for me is 1920 by 1200, which is the res of my main monitors. And the reason I say that is because it just gives you that little bit more screen space that is needed. But in terms of size, resolution matching screen, 1680 by 1050, absolutely lovely. And you guys can probably tell me praising resolutions is really scraping the bottom of the barrel to look for a positive side of this awful scenario. So I am the proud owner of a G5 Quad, but it's been battered and I am gutted. So I look forward to reading your comments, folks. Please don't rub salt into the wound. I am mighty raged about this, and just totally gutted, to be perfectly honest. Totally and utterly gutted. This is another destroyed quad. Absolutely gutted. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Join me again in the future for more quad saga, I guess. Let's see what the future holds for my relationship with this computer. I don't know what's going to happen. I really can't think straight. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. That was incredibly difficult. Okay, there we go. That is in. Now we can move on to some more fun stuff. Let's get rid of these. It's really been annoying me that these cables aren't a matching red. So very much looking forward to getting rid of these and having some lovely blue cables. They can go down there. They're just the sort of spare SATA cables that I have hanging around. Of course, there's the fan cable, which is nice and thin and black, so you'll barely notice it. It'll go all the way under there, and then I'll put the